The national championships were held at Lake Ruataniwha, and in many ways it was a championship of changing faces. A number of big names have gone, and it's a chance for the new generation to come through.
I'm Rob Waddell. I'm competing in the National Rowing Championships this weekend down in Twizel. There should be some really good racing. I'm really looking forward to my race in the single too. There's some great competitors out there. Looking forward to that challenge of racing them. Thanks ECNZ for the great sponsorship and for their support of rowing. They've been fantastic.
109 years after the first New Zealand Rowing Championships, we're at Lake Ruataniwha to decide the 1997 titles. Many of our Olympians, like Baker and Lawson and the Waikato Premier men, have retired. It's time for new stars to make their mark. The men's Cox 4 racing for one of rowing's oldest trophies, the famous old Boss Rooster. The expected good start from Auckland on this side, Avon next to them.
This is one of the titles that will change hands, Ian. Champions Waikato have held it for 13 straight years, but haven't been able to boat a crew this year. Avon are the favourites, 2 crews in this final. Avon number 2 and Clifton just trading the lead as the big number 1 crew. Way out in front now, stroked by Dave Shaper. Tony Dunlop in behind him, 5th at last year's Olympic Games, fellow Olympian Scott Brownlee and New Zealand Under-23 rep Ian Smallman.
The Avon combination proving too strong as they race into the last 100 metres of the race. Avon ahead of Auckland on the far side, and Taranaki crew from Clifton battling it out for third. But no doubt about the winners. Avon take the Cox 4, Auckland finish second, and Clifton take the minor place. Official result there, 5 seconds roughly between Avon and Auckland. The internationals too good.
Oh, we're stoked. You know, this was our main goal, the Boss Rooster, and we had a great race. Everything went to plan, so yeah, we're stoked.
And there's a bit of a tradition with it. You've got to paint it within a certain time.
Yeah, we've got the paint ready. We've had the paint for a number of years, but we finally got to use it. So it'll be painted red and white within the hour, I think. So it's good.
And it hasn't changed hands for something like 15 years, they tell me.
No, we're pretty, like I say, we're happy to get our hands on it. It's been in the Waikato for a long time, and you know, we put a crew together that was a pretty good combination. So we're wrapped to get it with the crew we got. Yeah.
4 crews lined up for the straight 4 final. From this side, Clifton, and then next to them in the green, Wairau, Auckland, and out on the outside, the favourites for the Coxless 4s, Avon.
It's the same Avon crew that won the Boss Rooster, so they've got to be favourites. But it's a good start from the young Wairau crew. Pushing away from the start, but it's this big Avon combination. Long, strong, very composed. They're just going to try to dominate the race straight away out of the start.
Beautiful water conditions here at Lake Ruataniwha for these finals today. This is in the Mackenzie country, part of the hydroelectric scheme here.
The boys from Clifton just struggling to stay on the pace as Avon, all control and rhythm, just cruise along on the far side. Already taken out the Cox 4, and now they're doing it out without the wee fellow. Great race coming from Wairau. The guys in green doing a good job here, a young crew. Dave Shepherd, Sean Robinson from last year's National Under-23 4. But Avon in control of the race, coming through inside the last 250 metres. Great conditions for rowing, just tremendous. It's been a great week of rowing. After their second title, Wairau still putting on the pressure. You can see their rating. They've got it well up there as we move in towards the finish.
Avon in the red and white with the braces coming towards the finish, and a great sprint from Avon, and they'll hold off the challenge. Wairau, as Mike mentioned, a very young crew, and they've done well. Perhaps a surprise they've edged out the Aucklanders, but Avon take the gun. And then it will be Wairau who'll get across in second, the crew from Marlborough, and third, well, it was pretty close, but it looked like the Auckland number 2 crew. And there are the official results 5 seconds. Again, the internationals too strong. Auckland Worth third. Sculling, different from rowing in that in this case the rowers have a blade in each hand. 5 crews have made this final. Waikato have favoured. They're out on the far side. 4 crews here from the North Island and 1 from the south. There they are, Jamie Little and Julian Galuk from Union Christchurch.
But it's the Waikato pair of Rob Waddell and Robbie Hamill just hammering it out of the start, using Rob's awesome strength to move that double along. Waikato way out on the right there. They've got a lead over the Cambridge crew, just trailing. Young combination, John Turnbull and Julian Hoogland. These guys last teamed up together for the New Zealand Juniors and now have moved to Cambridge to work with Norm Charlton. Now really putting the pressure on this Waikato combination.
They're not going to catch them though. Waikato will win it, but a good effort by these two for Cambridge. Both of them have come from outside the district. Julian Hoogland from Gisborne, a bronze medalist at the World Junior Champs, and John Turnbull, originally from North End in Dunedin. There's Waikato winning and Cambridge second in the double sculls. The official result, just a couple of seconds between them. Union Christchurch were third.
I'm more or less just had to strap myself in and let the big fella do the work, really. He's such a big galoot, eh? So I shouldn't really say that, but, you know, bloody powerful guy. I mean, all I could do was just sit in behind him and tap along and not hold the boat up.
Big surprise in this event was the elimination of the title holders from Cambridge. North Shore, who won the North Island title, and Star, the favourites.
14 crews entered for the pairs, and there's not a lot between the 6 who have made the final. Good start from North Shore, and we're watching out on the right, Star and Cambridge in the red boat, watching each other closely in adjacent lanes.
Cambridge doing a good job here. These boats are tricky to get out of the start, keep straight and keep balanced. Cox's pairs become the way of measuring rowers' effectiveness. There's nowhere to hide in these small boats.
So it's Stars, Kate Robinson and Bea Van Mullicum getting a grip on this race. Cambridge on the right, battling for second with North Shore.
Canterbury in the foreground, just dropping off the pace, and the heat's coming from North Shore's Jody Hall and Freya Chappell. They're in the centre of the picture. They're looking pretty good. Nice clean blade work. The 2 Cambridge crews in behind them and Hawke's Bay on the near side. Good performance coming from Cambridge too out on the right. Stroke Kate Thompson hasn't been able to row very much in the last month or so. She's only been able to do work on the road because of tendinitis. But they're trailing the North Shore combination. Hall and Chappell really trying to bring back this Star combination who just got a slight lead on them.
Into the last 100 metres of the women's pair, and it is Star, Van Mullicum and Robinson, and they're going to go away and win this by 2 or 3 lengths from North Shore and Cambridge, battling it out for that second spot. Star will certainly win it, and coming through for second, North Shore, too strong in the last couple of 100 metres. Star take the women's pair. Jody Hall and Freya Chappell from North Shore second, and then third across the line, Cambridge. That's Thompson and Murray. Official results, 5 seconds exactly. Star in front of North Shore, Cambridge third.
Steve, how's the championships been so far from a national coach's point of view?
The best thing about them so far has been the conditions. The water conditions have been absolutely perfect, really, and all the athletes have had a chance to show us what they're made of. There's been some very exciting racing as well, and that's always a good sign. We've had some very good performances so far, and some very encouraging performances, and I think we'll see some more today.
Well, the overall standard of rowing in New Zealand, how is it?
I suppose it would, at the top end, at the very top end, it's the same as the rest of the world. At the moment, we're just a bit thin on top, like me, really, I suppose. That is to say that we need more people right at the top level with perhaps Rob Waddell and the men's pair.
Well, the entry list for the men's pair does rather reflect those comments from Steve Gunn. Just 4 crews lined up for this final. All away to a good start.
Tony Dunlop and Dave Shaper in the red and white of Avon leading out. North Shore tucked in behind them. The blue and white of Clifton, and on the far side, Wairau. Great to see clubs like Clifton from the smaller centres putting championship crews on the water. And here we have Leighton Montgomery and Jason Williams. They're just falling off the pace a little bit, but the lead is with Avon.
These two, Tony Dunlop and David Shaper, were really the stars of the New Zealand rowing team at Atlanta last year. They were in the 8 originally. That didn't qualify. They were thrown together as a pair. They just keep getting better and better.
They do, and they're doing it very easily here. Good rowing always looks easy, and these two guys, while they didn't do it easily at the games, they had to go through the repechage at the games, through the semi-final, and ended up called 5th at the Olympic Games. But they're doing it very easily in the men's champ pair. Good row from North Shore, though. Couple of young guys, Craig Harper and Eddie Dunn, have come through the under-23 system. They'll take the silver medal, but all the way it's Tony Dunlop and Dave Shaper, comfortable winners in the men's champion pair.
And just wait for the hooter as they go across the line. You can see them easing right down. And another title for the Avon Club. They're having a good regatta. North Shore will be second. Tony Dunlop and David Shaper take another title to Avon from North Shore and Wairau.
Yeah, we made it a bit tougher than what it needed to be. I think we didn't row brilliantly over the first part of the race. We used strength rather than rowing properly. But came on pretty well in the second half of the race, so pretty happy with it, yeah. We did enough to do the job, so that's good.
The 22nd year this title has been contested. There've only been 4 names on the trophy, including Philippa Baker and Brenda Lawson. They've gone now. It's a new era.
Sonia Scown, daughter of former All Black Alistair Scown, the new face of women's rowing. Surprisingly, this is only her 3rd season in the sport after a successful athletics career. She was second to Brenda Lawson last year, but she's definitely quicker this year and dominating the early part of the race. On the near side, North Shore's Freya Chappell. Inside her in second place, Cambridge's Justine Brennan. 2 well-performed scullers. Sitting in behind them is North Shore's Jodie Hall. Distinct yellow boat and the new type of wing rigger that's used to hold the oars. Very light, made of synthetic materials, makes the boat a lot stronger.
At the front of the field, it is Sonia Scowen, and she's in charge in the race already, several lengths up on the rest. The real racing is for second. Freya Chappell from North Shore on the left, and Justine Brennan of Cambridge, who's in fact just in front of her. Great race between these two. You notice Chappell shorter strokes, Brennan a bit more power.
And on the far side, Ian, a great performance coming up from Carolyn Evers Swindell, last year's National Secondary School champion. But Sonia Scowen's going to win it. Justine Brennan looks as though she's got hold of the silver medal, but a great race for that 3rd place between Evers Swindell and a tiring Freya Chappell.
Down towards the finish then, it'll be Sonia Scowen who'll win all right. She's about to go across the line. Still holding her control though, not much splashing of any water. She's certainly trained well through the season. Great technique, and she wins. Sonia Scowen takes the single sculls title. Justine Brennan has got up for 2nd place, and Caroline Evers Swindell from Hawke's Bay has come through for 3rd.
Sonia, the new single scull champion, and the next challenge for her is international competition. In the end, it was a comfortable 13-second win ahead of Cambridge's Justine Brennan and Hawke's Bay's Caroline Evers Swindell.
The others gave me a bit of a run for my money out of the start. It wasn't until about 300 out that I think I took the lead about then. And yeah, from there it felt pretty good.
A full field of 6 for the singles. From the top, Hawke's Bay, Union Christchurch, Waikato. The Cambridge club has 2 scullers here, and Union Wanganui on the inside.
And in the blue, it's Cambridge's Julian Hoogland and Waikato's Rob Waddell on the right. The 2 internationals in the field, and already they're making an early break. Leading, it's Rob Waddell, just missed out on the final at the Olympics, the 1996, finishing 7th, and he's well in control of this single-scull field.
Going too fast for the rest through the first half of the race. Julian Hoogland holding 2nd. Galuk of Union Christchurch on his left is 3rd, and James Nilsson from Hawke's Bay holding 4th at this stage.
And remarkably, in Cambridge's Julian Hoogland first qualified for the final of this event as a schoolboy 3 years ago. But he's in the shadow of this big man, Rob Waddell, leading comfortably in the single scull, long reach forward, powerful push with his legs. He really makes a good picture on Lake Ruataniwha.
See spectators on the far side of the course. This was a man-made course, purpose-built when the lake was put here. And it has that feature that you can see the race for the last 1,000 metres by following it in cars. Something unusual in rowing.
Yes, and there's Waddell again. He's all control. He's rode a very, very strong race in the first half. He's been able to sit back and watch the others coming at him. And one of them is Julian Hoogland. He's really charging now. He started a little slowly, but he's been able to close down the distance between the big man and himself.
So the win for Rob Waddell, certainly one of New Zealand's great Olympic hopes for Sydney 2000. He's still only 22, and he's beaten Julian Hoogland by just over 3.5 seconds.
Waikato have had to relinquish their rowing titles at these championships, but here's the chance to take a sweep of the sculling events in the men's quadruple sculls. From this side, Waikato, inside them Union Wanganui, Cambridge, and on the far side Union Christchurch. And Cambridge really steaming out of the start. These boats are very, very quick over the first 500 metres and second only to the 8. And you can see them there, really good clean blade work. But out on the right-hand side, it's Union Christchurch who have the lead, and now just starting to trail Union Wanganui.
Interesting looking Waikato lineup in this field. Robbie Hamill, we see him there on the right. The lightweight, Chris White is chasing his 38th championship title over a 17-year period. Amazing. Rob Waddell's in there, and a newcomer, Martin Lowry. I suppose the big disadvantage for them is that they've been thrown together without much preparation, Mike.
Yes, they have, and that's in contrast with a superbly prepared Union Christchurch crew. They're going very well. They'll have about a length now on the two other crews, Waikato and Cambridge in there. They're just trying to stay in contact with this Union crew, but there's great precision sculling from Union. They aren't a big, strong crew, but they are very, very together, and they've got the wood on these guys at the moment. So we're coming through the halfway mark now with the Union crew now just starting to be pulled back by Waikato. Waikato are the movers in the second half of the race. They just use their experience to sit back, just let their boat run. You cannot force these boats. They're quick. The blades often get caught in the water at the finish if you're not careful, so you've got to be very, very gentle and very, very smooth. And you can see both crews now closing up on that Union Christchurch crew.
Remarkable performance by Chris White. Second from the right there in the Waikato boat. As I said, 17 years he's been chasing titles at New Zealand Championships. It must be hurting him, though. He hasn't done a lot of training this year. This boat's just been thrown together, and he'll be really feeling it as they come into the closing stages. Cambridge leading. Waikato. Cambridge, Waikato, nothing much at all between them. Union Wanganui also there, but Waikato have broken clear over that last 100 metres. Waikato win from Cambridge. And the official result, well, it's less than a second.
Oh, it was a really exciting one, eh? We just hung in there and kept it tapping along. It was just really good fun, quite exciting at the end there. Yeah.
Was there any point in the race when you thought you might have had it?
None whatsoever. Not until that last. Yeah, not until the very end. I mean, they flew out on us. We sort of, I think if they kept on going like that, there's nothing we could have done, but we just hung in there and came back at the end.
It's always one of the great sights in any sport. The start of an 8s race. Blades flashing across the water. From this side, Union, Star, Canterbury, Cambridge, Wairau and North Shore.
It's a great sight, Ian. 8s charging out of the start. Watch out for the North Island crews. Cambridge with Sonia Scown and Justine Brennan, winners of the champion double on board. And Star, Kate Robinson and Bea van Malcolm, winners of the Cox's pair on board. Look out for Wairau, the best of the South.
Well, the prediction's looking right. That is Cambridge leading out from Star, and on this side, Union Wanganui.
Judith Hamilton's done a great job with the Star crew, already winners of the Cox's pair and fours at this regatta, but they're in a bit of trouble here behind the slick Cambridge combination. Norm Charlton's the coach. He did a great job with the women's four at the Nations Cup last year where they won a silver medal. A number of these rowers in these boats were on board that crew as well. So it's Cambridge, looking very comfortable, just sitting back and watching that Star crew. A great place to race a championship from in front. Able to just squeeze and hold any move that the Star crew may make.
Good race going on here for the runner-up positions. Union Wanganui in the blue, Canterbury in the centre. That's a school crew, I believe, Mike.
Yes, it's Rangi Ruru from Christchurch. They've done very, very well over the last few years in secondary school rowing. They're the current secondary school champions. This is a very strong crew and a very strong performance from them.
into the closing stages of the race inside the last 250 now, and Cambridge are leading. They've been the pace setters in the north this season. Star are second, just out of shot at the moment.
Cambridge were the winners in 94 and 95, but Union of Wanganui with Brenda Lawson and Philippa Baker on board took it off them. But it looks now as though the title will return to the Waikato. So Cambridge, blue and white blades, red boat, really making a good side on Lake Ruataniwha.
So it's Cambridge too strong in the women's 8. They're the winners. Great race going on here for second. Here come Wairau charging home. Star on the inside are holding them out, and Star just get there. Cambridge win, Star second by 2 lengths. And then it's Wairau that come home in 3rd place in the Women's Championship 8s.
End of the day, the glamour event, the 8s.
Well, until we've seen it and timed it and looked at it, it's difficult to predict. I'd guess it might well be an exciting race. I'm looking forward to watching it. My suspicion is it probably won't be as fast as we'd like it to be. But obviously it's my job, the job of the other coaches and the volunteer coaches in New Zealand to make things get faster over the next 4 years.
What makes a good 8?
8 good people. No, first of all, 8 very good people who are very fit. And I think the crucial thing is togetherness, obviously. But you've got to start off with 8 really good people.
Well, the reason the Waikato Club won this title for the past 16 years was that they always had a boat full of good people. They're gone, though. There'll be a new name on the trophy tonight.
And Auckland have come from the north with a big reputation, but they can expect some tough competition from Avon, who've won both the 4s and the pair at this regatta. And the field's already starting to split up, with Star dropping off the pace.
The Flyers over the first half. Auckland in the red and black hoops. They've got nearly a length on Avon.
Auckland are great out of the blocks, Ian. They're a very powerful crew, and they're perhaps a little fresher than the Avon guys. They've sat through the pair or races at least, and then they've got nearly that 1 length lead, and that'll be critical later on. Avon will be trying to restrict them to that 1 length because they know they're going to be better over the second half. But Auckland now looking pretty comfortable. Blade work good in the bodies. The Avon crew looking equally controlled and easy as well. Should be in for a great race.
Now the crew in the gold and white, that's Invercargill, who won the senior 8, the next grade down. They're working hard to try and stay in touch.
A very good performance from them, but look at the race closing down here. Auckland, really fast starters. It takes a lot of energy out of you when you start that fast. It means you're going to have to pay it back. Avon, very experienced. They lack combination. They haven't trained much together, but they're really throwing a big challenge out to Auckland now. Remember, the Avon guys have already picked up the 4, they've picked up the pair, they've got the form, they've got the confidence, and they are just picking up this Auckland crew. Seat by seat, stroke by stroke, they're just edging up on Auckland.
Into the closing stages of the men's 8s, and it's Avon at Auckland. Avon just edging up now on the bow for bow, and edging in front. Tremendous race it's been by Avon over the last 500 metres as they put in the spurt. Remember, they were a full length down, and they've come back and gone through the Aucklanders, and they're in front. And the title is going to go to the South Island. Tremendous reception the Avon crew is getting from the South Islanders here at Lake Ruataniwha. Avon's going to take the title, all right. They win the men's 8s. Auckland are fading, and they're almost a full length behind as they go to the hooter. Avon win it. It is almost a full length to Auckland second, and Invercargill, a good effort by them from the deep south, coming home for 3rd in their Premier Men's 8s. The title has gone to Christchurch, the Avon Club. Waikato for 16 years, now Avon at 5:48, a good time. So Avon win the men's 8s, the final event after a great week of racing here at the ECNZ National Rowing Championships.